Hello, hello. This is Yuri with Moving Sales Professionals and Let's Talk Moving podcast. And with me today, I have Christina Hawkins, owner and founder of Moving Marketing Results, with 30 years of experience in marketing and 10 years of government logistics. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Well, thank you very much for joining me. So tell me, how did you get started?
I started about 30 years ago. I was part of the Defense Department. I was a logistician working with containers, bringing everything back from the first and second Gulf War. So I built that side of me when it comes to logisticians and programming. Also, we were part of the inventory programming. We were trying to build out warehouses across the country. Then I married a Marine, and that ended that career because I started moving every 2 years, which leads me into how I got into digital marketing. At the
Right?
time, I was the only person in my area that was a coder, programmer, computer person, IT, more IT than anything. So I was training everybody. I actually went back to school to get an IT degree, but then my husband got transferred again. And so I ended up my very first job in an IT position. It was a little small metro agency in Yuma, Arizona. First hour, I had to buy ympo.org and build a website. And when I did that, I'm like, well, this is kind of cool. This is fun. So pulled out Notepad and I had to type out HTML on a notepad. So I've been doing that since 1999. And again, moved every 2 years of my life, pretty much since I was born. I was in the military. My dad was military, married military. And then he retired, and now we ended up in Houston. And then I just started building the business. I started off with a company called Global Specs. I still have it. It works with small businesses. About 3 years ago, I niched down into just movers. I had a bit of an affinity toward it because I understood the baseline of what a mover
Well,
had
yeah,
to
if you did
do.
logistics, you
I
you
did
have
logistics. Yeah,
it's easy for you to understand the parts that make this business
exactly.
tick, obviously.
Exactly. All the thing. And then on the other side, me moving every 2 years. I've done military moves, corporate
Right.
moves, DIY moves, you name it, I've done it. And so, yeah, I just had an affinity toward it. And I've been doing that for about 3 years now.
And now for a word from our sponsors. If you're a moving business owner, you may have already heard of Moversville, an email marketing service that helps moving companies increase, repeat, and referral business. But have you heard of Moversville Connect? Moversville Connect is an incredible resource for all things moving. They feature an array of vendors and services that cater specifically to the moving industry. You can find companies that provide moving software, moving sales services, marketing services, moving equipment providers, and much, much more. Visit moversville.com today to learn more.
Okay, okay. So
Yeah.
what can you do for the movers?
I am a strategic level digital marketer. I look at the full, bigger, broader picture of your moving company and what you're doing with your marketing website, paid ads, SEO, social media, attribution, CRMs, automation. We start at the bottom with your website, and then we build up on top of that to build a system for you that brings quality leads. I think that's the thing that I really stress.
Right,
If I say,
which is big
yeah,
right now because that's what we're talking about a lot today. That's what
mm-hmm,
I talk a lot about on this
mm-hmm,
podcast because basically, just kind of to take it back a little bit before you get to your point, moving companies at this point, if you're buying leads, you're all buying leads from the same sources.
yep,
You all
same people.
know who they are. You know, I'll name a few right off the bat, and you all know them, and you've
Yep,
all probably bought them, and you've all probably used them. So you got your bottom of the pile in terms of pricing. You got your Billy.com, you got your movers.com.
mm-hmm,
Then you got your moving.com. You got your iRelocate. You got your network leads. You got your quote runner. You got your Equate Media. You that that's the
I've
majority
got
that
clients use
everybody
all of them.
buys. Right. So
Yep,
everybody
yep,
buys those. But here's a reality, and I'm sure these companies would absolutely love for me to say this. But the reality is this. They have not had real quality level competition in probably the last 10 years.
mm-hmm,
It's the same companies, and any of them that popped up, and if I remember correctly, I think Quote Runner and Equate are now one and the same.
mm-hmm, yep, I think so too.
But like in the past 10 years, anybody that's popped up, they didn't last very long. And at this point, they probably don't exist anymore. So those are the same companies. So what are these companies doing? Knowing that they don't have more competition, they're doing what? They're charging more for their leads, and they're selling them to more companies. So now, quote unquote, there is no such thing as quality, exclusive moving lead. It does not exist anymore. No
Nope.
matter what they tell you, and
Yep.
they're gonna hate me for this, but no
I
matter
know.
what they tell you, they do not exist
Yep. I've got
because
the data. I can see
yeah,
the
we
data.
can
I
we I
mean,
don't even have to see the
I
data.
see
I
it.
see it from being on the phone.
Yeah. Yeah, for
And
sure.
if before you had wintertime, the quality of leads went down, summertime, the quality of leads went up, right? Well, guess what? The last 2 years, it stayed at roughly 40% junk.
Yeah.
So that means if you're buying 100 leads,
Yep. How much
40 of
time?
40 of them are going to go into trash
Hmm.
almost immediately
Hmm.
once you call them, probably the first or second time you call them, right?
Yep.
Then you're going to be left with 60. Out of those 60, you're lucky if you reach half.
Yep. Yep.
And then the half that you do reach, you're going to have to compete with
Hmm.
4, 5, 6, 7 moving companies that are also calling them.
Does your company need more creative marketing and ad campaigns to improve traffic and organic leads? Well, Moving Sales Professionals has a solution for you. We have partnered with social media marketing agency that has over 300 million views on their ads and videos across social media, and they have generated over $35 million for their clients over the last 10 years alone. Their services include content creation, social media ads, pay-per-click campaigns, website and funnel development, Google Ads, email marketing campaigns, lead generation, and much, much more. For a limited time only, they have discounted rates for their services. Sign up for a free consultation call with us via our Calendly link on our website or below this video.
Yep. And also imagine how much time you're spending
Yeah,
going after these junk leads.
yeah,
So all that time, phone calls, follow-ups, all of that could be spent on actual quality leads, but people just don't, they're afraid
right,
or they can't
right. And
equate
the
the
other
two.
part, look, guys, I've been doing sales for over 20 years. I've been doing sales for moving companies over 20 years at this point. No matter how good I am, and I am pretty good, I can't turn crap into gold. So
That's what I say
unless you're
too.
getting quality leads,
Yeah.
you're not good. Like no matter how good I am, I'm not gonna turn. I still have to reach the people. So
Yeah.
if I can't reach them,
Yeah.
what's gonna happen is I'm going to come sooner or later, either I'm going to come to a conclusion that I'm spending way too much time without, frankly, being compensated adequately for it, or you're going to come to a conclusion that you're spending too much money on these leads without me closing enough. Not because I'm not good at what I do, but because what you're providing me with, I can't turn it into what you want me to provide you with.
Right.
And
Exactly.
that's reality. It's like no matter what call center you use, and no matter how good the salespeople you hire are, if you don't give us something to work with,
Mhm.
we cannot turn it into something that's going to exceed what you're paying for.
I explain that you own the leads. This is your brand. If they
Mhm.
find you, they've chosen you. They've
Mhm.
decided to reach out because either they Googled you, or came from a paid ad, but whatever they saw, they liked, and they're reaching out to you. And they might be calling 3 or 4 other companies, but they chose you. Not another company isn't sending it to you. So this is that way of, and again, it's consistent as well. So you turn off the spigot over at these lead guys, it stops. But with marketing, if it's done right, even if they stop paying me and they continue on, it doesn't just stop. The website still is accessible. The social media has been working. The Google business profile is doing well. So it doesn't
Right.
just cut off.
Yeah, maybe
You've
it's
built
not
the brand.
clicking at the same pop
Exactly.
as it used to
Exactly.
because nobody's
Right.
watching it anymore,
Right.
right?
Right.
But it's still popping because at
It's
the end
still
of the day, like
happening.
between social media and everything else that you need to build, right? So
Exactly.
the question here is what to do and what not to do when you're focusing on marketing and on growing your platform and growing your brand.
Right. Well, let me start with the to-dos. So the to-dos first is trust. I think that's core of any marketing. My responsibility to help these movers is to build the trust. Part of that is video, real photos, real content, nothing just generated by AI, stock photos. You have to have certifications. You've got to be part of the community. You have to show that you're out and about. I tell people, listen, trust is about building that. It's not trust through me, it's trust through your community. And that means you got to join the chamber and be active. That means sponsoring things. Your truck has to be nicely wrapped. I need to see that you're active. I need to see your people. And that doesn't happen with just a 3-page website with a couple stock photos with guys wearing blue bibs. I never understand why they insist on those photos, but that's trust. The other thing is, if you're going to use technology, AI, CRMs, your website, all that stuff, that just amplifies the relationship. Okay, that just gives you an ability to connect with these future customers, and you have to have some kind of conversation that's consistent. One thing that I hear all the time is, oh, I did a postcard, or we did ads for a couple months for $500. That is just the technology giving you ability to get your word out, but you have to amplify the relationship. Google Ads, you can't get away with $500. It's minimum shoot 3 to 5, depending on the competition, and the other thing I try and tell people is, yes, digital marketing, I can do a lot of attribution. I can check it, see where it's coming from. But the more successful movers are the ones that get off their butt, out of the office, go to the apartments, meet the apartment managers, go to the real estate offices, talk to them, bring gifts, have luncheons with people. You can't just rely on the technology to do your marketing for you. And the third thing is measuring. I think we are now at a level now, I can tell exactly where leads come from. Paid ads, Google local service ads, Google Map, SEO, social media. And that's super important about where you're spending your money. So attribution, where did your leads come from, and where do we need to adjust, like levers. I need to put more money here, more money over here, less money here. It didn't work very well. So those are the 3 rules I would say. And then 2026, those are things you really want to kind of focus on, understand about today's marketing.
Right. And at the end of the day, it's, if you want, like for any business, whether it's moving or something else,
Right.
if you're not in putting your money in, you're not going to get things. Look, I have companies that I work with that are spending somewhere in ten to $15,000 on advertising every month, right? And then I have companies that are spending 500. Guess whose schedule is full? It's not the ones at 500.
No, it's a pay to play game. It really is. Unless you're a hustler, unless you're out there building relationships and networking.
But then if you're not spending money there, you're spending the time. So you got to do something. You got to invest in your own business. Like, for example, these days I'm flying to London every year. I'm going to UK right now to go be in that market. I'm not going to too many events in US right now, but I used to go to every Massaro event when it came out. I haven't done so in whatever, because like now you got Titans, you got some of the other ones. So I really got to think which one to go to. I haven't figured out which one. And frankly, any of those guys, if you guys are running events and you are looking for somebody that knows what he's talking about to speak off your stage, I'm ready. I can do it, and we can talk about everything else. But because at the end of the day, if I can go to an event and frankly not have to pay for it, and pay for it with my speaking and with my knowledge, I'm more than willing to do that.
Oh, same here. I just was at a conference in Florida. I had to get out, go fly, and go physically meet people. It's the same for everybody now.
Right. Yeah.
We can't hide behind our desks. We can't hide behind just spending money willy-nilly everywhere. That's another issue too. I hear that a lot. I put money into that already. It didn't work. Well, I got to see what you did, because most of the time it wasn't done the right way.
And there's so many people out there right now that are offering these services. Let me tell you this. I got competitors out there that are call centers that do. None of them do what I do. And none of them do what I do to the extent. I have a company out there right now that, frankly, these 2 guys that used to be my sales reps that decided to copycat what we do here. They have website that kind of reminds you of mine. They're offering similar type of services, but they don't have the experience, they don't have the knowledge, and they don't have, frankly, the sales skill that we have in my office. So,
I mean, I wrote a book
they're
on
a little
this too.
They're a little cheaper, but that's about it. You got to remember, it's just like you want us to say to your customers, you get what you pay for. Well, the same goes with sales, the same goes with SEO, the same goes with websites, the same goes with digital marketing. You want to make sure you're getting quality for the dollar that you're spending.
Yep. Yeah.
And like we always tell that to the customers that are looking for that cheapest price. We always tell them cheap movers aren't good and good movers aren't cheap. Well, the same goes for sales reps. The same thing goes for digital marketing. The same thing goes for SEO. The same thing goes for website design. So if none of those things are your specific specialty,
Yeah.
Look, there's some great moving companies out there where the owner is on top of the fact that they know the industry, they're a great salesperson. Okay, if
Mhm.
they're a great salesperson and really know what they need, they can put their own sales team together. They're probably going to be okay. But if sales is not your cup of tea, if that's not your specialty, then you need somebody like me,
Yeah.
right? If SEO
100%.
is not your specialty, if digital marketing is not your specialty, you need somebody like Christina, right?
Yeah.
So you need somebody that's going to take care of the things that you can't do, or maybe you're not, or you've tried to do them themselves and you came to a conclusion that you're not good at it.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people say, "Oh, I want to do this, I want to do that." You know, there are companies out there that think that that if they tell us, "Oh, you know, we'll give you leads, we'll give you," okay, once again, lead quality.
Right. Yeah.
Like, do you want me if I get eight phone calls, assuming that they like the what a pricing, whatever, I'm probably going to close most of them for you.
Yep.
But once
And
again,
I've
there's
listened to
other
these calls.
parts.
That's the problem I run into. So another
Yeah,
issue is what not to do is ignore your marketing agency. You hire them and then you don't show up for regular meetings. That's a big problem because I can't work in a silo. We have to have
right.
conversations. All right. So and this is one of the things I really stress when we have new clients during the kickoff call. We have a CRM. I can see the leads come in. My job on those monthly strategy calls is not to tell you how many leads you got. That's too late. You should be looking at either daily or
You should see
weekly.
that from your CRM, how many leads
The
came in.
CRM is right there,
That's not what
completely
the digital
open.
marketer
I'm
is
not
there for.
hiding these things. I'm not giving you
Right.
some weird report that I made up. It is straight in there. So and when we have these monthly calls, it is imperative that you show up. We don't have to spend an hour, but we need to have the discussion about what's working and what's not working. We have to be very honest. Is the paid ads working? If it's not, why not? Are you getting sheds? You don't like to do sheds? We need to have that conversation. Not enough apartments? We got to talk. You have to talk to me. And
Right.
it's a problem that I run into a lot. I'm doing well. And then they just are like, well, Christina's fine. We don't have to have a conversation. And then all of a sudden you can see that they're in their mind, we're not doing anything. I'm like, you got to show up to the
Right. Right.
calls.
And it's the same thing with us too, because
Yeah.
this is what I say all the time. We are working in the people's market.
Yeah.
Okay. If there's something that one of my sales rep is doing that you're not happy about, don't let it fester and
Right.
pile up, and then you have a big blow up call where we have a equivalent of an
Yeah.
atomic bomb. That's
Yeah.
not what I want.
Yeah.
If there's issues that you're having,
Mm-hmm.
if or there's something that you felt uncomfortable with, pick up the
Mm-hmm.
phone, call me.
Oh,
I'm not an absentee owner. A
yeah.
lot of my competitors are. I'm not. You can actually, as an owner, that's one of the things that I tell you during an onboarding call or during just a
Same.
conversation about potentially doing things with you. I'm not an absentee owner. You can
Right.
pick up a call, you
Mm-hmm.
can call me at any point, and we can have an owner to owner conversation. We can
Yep.
talk about the sales, we can talk about the reps, we can talk about strategy, we can talk about multiple things, and I'll make sure that those things are passed on to the sales team. So you're
Mm-hmm.
not dealing through a third like a manager that's an in
Same.
between you and me, where you talk to the manager, you tell him something, that manager has to call me, tell me something, then I have to tell something to the manager, then the manager has to call you back. No, we
Mm-hmm.
are talking directly.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're
And we
telling
have,
me what you need. I'm
yeah.
telling you what I can do.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what I can do. I'm
Yeah.
telling you what I need that you're not giving me,
Right.
and vice versa. But
Right.
it's a win-win situation, especially
Mhm.
in our case
Absolutely.
where after the initial onboarding, we're commission based.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
once we're
okay.
commission based after the initial onboarding, you're not paying me monthly, you're not paying me yearly. You want results? I need certain things from you too in order to
Mm-hmm.
provide those results.
This is a partnership. This is a true
Very much
partnership.
so.
We
Because
have to go back and forth.
at the end of the day, if we're not both doing what we're supposed to do,
Yep.
you're not making what you want, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
not making what I want either. And
Yeah.
those things are directly correlated.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So the performance will start. Usually the performance fine, but there's this perception that we're not doing anything. So that's why,
Right.
again,
Well,
and the
that's why the
reports are much
conversations
more.
need to take place.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And we're a small agency. I've got 15 people,
Trust
but we're
me,
small and mighty.
it's the companies that are not doing stuff. They're the ones that are going to be happy of not
Yeah.
having to have these calls.
Yeah.
I'd rather
Yeah.
have the calls.
Yeah. 100%.
I
Yeah.
think
It
communication
could
is
be 15
important. It's part of
minutes.
any relationship.
Yeah, it could just be, hey, everything's great. We're fine, great, but I need to talk to you about these three things we're still waiting for you on. I haven't gotten new photos. Please make sure you do that. And then fine, great, hang up. I have to have that conversation. It's so important. The other thing too is be visible, I think, is the other thing that people forget. They just want to sit at their desk and just hand this off to somebody,
And
hand
be
this off to a
available.
salesperson. You
Be
have to be
available because
available.
sometimes,
Mhm.
like for example, let's say that we're your sales team, and let's say that there's a dispatcher, there's management, maybe you have some in-house salespeople as
Right.
well. Well, frankly, when I have a customer on the phone that I'm trying to book
Yeah.
and I have a question that I can't answer, I need that answered immediately
Yeah.
because I want to book that job.
Yeah.
Being able to answer that question while that customer is on the phone with me
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
paramount to me booking that job by the end of that call.
And let me flip this too. The other side is we're very transparent. I need them to be transparent. I can
Yep.
see the phone calls. I can hear the phone calls. I see the text messages. So you can't tell me that the lead wasn't good because you had conversations with them. You sent them a proposal, but you didn't do the follow-ups. You talked all about
Right.
price, oh, we're the cheapest. Oh, it's $150 per guy per 3 hour, all that stuff. And that's what they start with. They
Right.
start with that conversation immediately, but then they complain to me like, Christina, there's all cheap people. They all want these quick, cheap moves, and my competitors are cheap. I'm like, then stop talking about price in the first 30 seconds.
Right.
I just sent
You
you a
want to, that's
four-bedroom home.
why,
Of
yeah, like talk about at the end of the day, we all want to sell value. But you
course.
got to remember too, in order for us to sell value for you,
Mm-hmm.
you got to give us value to sell. Like
Yeah.
if you don't have any reviews,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a biggie.
if
Yeah.
you don't have anything online, like look, I have companies that come to me all the time that do long distance moves that are
Mm-hmm.
switching from brokers. They want to do their own in-house sales. They want to book their own jobs, right?
Good.
So they
Yeah.
come to me all the time. And I'm there, I'm talking to them. I look up their company, and there's 5 Google reviews. And they're
Ouch.
trying to do long distance. Look, here's the reality.
Oh, ouch.
Local moves, okay? Uh,
Yeah.
what is the customer thinking? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get in my car, I'm gonna drive behind a truck. If I don't like something, I'm gonna call the cops, right?
Yeah.
So you can get away with things with local, right?
Yeah.
But with long distance, you can't
No.
because they're putting their entire life in your truck.
Yeah.
In order to do that, they need to trust you.
Mm-hmm.
In order to trust you, they need to find enough information about your company that goes beyond what I tell them on the phone. They need to find the reviews. They need
Right.
to see that you're registered. They need
Right.
to see your Better Business Bureau. They
Yeah.
need to, the more positive information they find about your company, the better off you're going to be.
Which is crucial for marketing.
Yeah.
Everything you said is the baseline foundation of any marketing, any brand.
Right.